Greetings, dear comrades. Today we are going to have an exciting adventure in the world of Plants vs. Zombies.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, put a like, and share your divine comment. Let's not waste any time and start the exciting walkthrough.
Cool, let's go through each level in turn. That way we'll all have our own time to really enjoy the game.
That's a great offer. Let's get started and get the fun started.
That's a great offer. Let's get started and get the fun started. Hey, why has Plants vs. Zombies been trending for so long?
I think her unique blend of strategy and humor is the real draw. How can you not laugh at those nimble peas and friendly sunflowers?
Yes, that's right. That's the magic of this game. It all starts with such cute sunflowers, and then suddenly there are huge zombie giants.
This is the magic of perfect balance. At first glance, the game seems easy and simple. But as we progress through the levels, it becomes more and more difficult, giving more of a challenge and forcing us to apply strategy. This approach really makes the game interesting and fun.
Of course! I'm on board with this. Collecting those suns and recruiting my plant gang, especially in the early levels when zombies don't stand a chance. And what do you think of the idea of using plants instead of the usual defense mechanisms? Adds an interesting twist to the game, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It really adds a special charm to the game. And what do you say about the fact that each plant has its own unique abilities? That makes choosing plants so interesting and strategic, doesn't it?
This uniqueness of each plant forces you to develop your own strategy depending on what fighters you have in your arsenal. And it's like putting together your own team with unique skills, which makes the game even more fun.
And the main villain, Zomos. I'll never forget his first appearance. When he first appeared, and that was the first time I ever thought that zombies were a serious threat.
The level is almost done! Just the last wave left! This is so exciting! Nostalgia is already in the air. Are you looking forward to new, more challenging levels already? More adventures are surely ahead.
What are your favorite levels or modes in the game?
I enjoy the pool level, especially when using seaweed. It's always entertaining to see the zombies swimming around.
I like the level with the roof best, where strategy in using pots to grow plants is important.
And I love the survival mode, where the waves of zombies get progressively harder and you have to constantly improve your skills.
There is something magical about this game that magnetically draws you back again and again. What exactly is it that keeps you coming back to it?
Despite the years, this game remains a true classic.
Absolutely true. Like wine, the game only gets better with time.
That's a great idea. Why don't we get together this weekend and immerse ourselves in this exciting world of plants versus zombies? It'll be a fun time together.
Let's create our own team of survivors against zombies. Guys, it's been years since we started playing Plants vs. Zombies. What memories do you guys have?
Memories of the first part are something special, aren't they? There's so much nostalgia. I remember the first time I encountered the main zombie. It was a real kick. The whole game left an unforgettable experience.
It's really interesting to note that the zombies in the first installment were less perfect compared to the later ones. But that's what perhaps made them even more terrifying. The sometimes less polished appearance adds to the atmosphere of mystery and suspense.
And the variety of plants was really impressive, especially since there were even more of them now. Back then, there weren't all the ones we have now, and it amazed me how they could interact with each other. It made for fascinating strategies and added depth to the gameplay.
This memory creates a special atmosphere. Trying to complete levels in the dark when only the moon was shining gave the game a special charm. Sometimes the atmosphere of the first parts creates unique memories.
The adventure mode is the really exciting part of the game. Going through all the levels with different types of zombies adds variety and keeps things interesting. What specific moments from adventure mode do you remember?
I understand you. Glad you had fun, but I admit that some of the levels could have been quite challenging, especially the ones where certain types of plants are restricted, add an extra challenge, and require careful strategy planning. How did you handle such difficult levels?
In fact, Plants vs. Zombies is one of those games that can attract the attention of not only experienced players, but also those who have no previous experience in gaming.
I observe that you prefer the tactic of maximizing sunflowers. Worried there might not be enough sunlight?
I always act without missing a beat. It is easier to have a surplus of sunshine than to face death for lack of money to buy polyethylene.
Logic is important. The main thing is to complete the level, and the method is secondary.
I think a lot of factors came together in this game. The unique concept, the ease of learning, and the fun characters, all of which made it accessible and engaging.
The main thing about this game is the feeling of love and care from the developers. They put their soul into it, and it can be felt.
I agree. Plants vs. Zombies was a peculiar phenomenon in the video game world that inspired many.
It's incredible how long it's been. And here we are still discussing this wonderful game together.
Great idea. Let's spend the evening in this zombie paradise again.
Let's replay some levels and remember the old days. Sounds like a great way to spend time.
Perhaps we will find new details that have eluded attention before. I am sure that even after all these years, the game may still surprise us.
Do you think they can maintain this level of popularity in the following parts? Or have they already reached their peak?
Probably a lot depends on what new ideas they present, but I'm sure zombie and plant fans will always come back.
I agree. It is important that the developers do not lose the charm and humor that made the first part.
Exactly. It is also important to skillfully maintain a balance between complexity and charm. Probably, this is one of the reasons for its durability.
Let's have a few more rounds and see what new surprises this amazing game has prepared for us.
Perhaps we will discover something new in the future. Great idea. I am sure that even after all these years, the game can surprise us.
Yes! Let the zombie battle against the plants continue!
Plants vs. Zombies. Let's enjoy this amazing world together for many years to come.
How do you rate the latest changes in the second part of the game? I think the developers continue to embed fascinating elements into the game.
Absolutely agree. New plants and zombies bring unexpected twists. Every battle feels fresh, but some changes seem to have gone too far.
The last zombie boss, in my opinion, is an unnecessarily difficult test.
The boss may be complicated, but that's the point. I even enjoy the fact that now I have to use new strategies to fight these bosses.
Friends, can you tell us which points of Plants vs. Zombies you remember the most? For me, for example, one of the most impressive was my first encounter with a zombie.
And yes, I remember my first encounter with the main zombie in adventure mode. Then I realized that the game will give me a real challenge.
My favorite memories are related to plants. I remember the first time I used many ice scissors. It was a magnificent chaos.
And I always remember the moment when I could win a level with 3 zombies. It was like the magic of sound and light.
What plants and zombies of your heart? Maybe everyone has their own favorites in this exciting world.
I've always preferred the bonfire to his fireballs like a cool firework during a battle.
And I probably have a favorite, Cabbage. It's always a pleasure to watch her smash zombies into vegetables.
My favorite is Big Nut, always on the front lines. His ability to create a barrier and slow down enemies is an incredible sight.
Friends, what strategies do you like in the game? For example, I always strive to create a number of solar installations to provide the maximum amount of power.
I often resort to a combination of shooting plants and those capable of slowing down enemies. This helps to deal effectively with large groups of zombies.
And I prefer to focus on plants with strong attacks, like Bonfire or Watermelon Thrower. They can quickly destroy large groups of enemies.
I like to create tactical barriers with big nuts and plants with a slowdown effect. This allows you to control the flow of zombies and enhance protection.
How do you deal with bosses? What strategies and forces do you have to fight them?
Usually I resort to forceful attacking plants and try to direct fire at the boss to quickly destroy him.
I prefer to build protection from the boss to slow down his movement and give my plants more time to attack.
My big nuts are great for making obstacles in front of the boss. They can withstand a lot of damage, creating space for attacking plants.
Very interesting strategies. Do you think there are any more secrets in the game that you haven't revealed yet?
Perhaps each of us reveals our own secrets over time. That's what makes the game so exciting. There's always something new to learn.
And when you encounter new species of zombies or plants, it also adds an element of surprise to the game. There may still be a lot of unexplored strategies.
The main thing to remember is not only the strategy is important in the game, but also fun. Sometimes the most unexpected combinations of plants can lead to the most exciting moments.
Let's continue our adventure and perhaps discover a few more tricks along the way. Guys, let's not forget the funniest things that happened to us during the game. I had a moment when zombies tried to pass through my P line.
He and I had a moment where I accidentally dug up a bonfire in front of a zombie dancer. He danced so enthusiastically, he didn't even see him go straight into the fire.
And I remember one day, in the last wave, a giant zombie appeared, and my plant simultaneously pointed fire at it. He didn't seem to expect such a warm welcome.
There was a fun moment with my favorite tall zombie when he tried to walk by, but the nuts were against it, creating such a barrier that the zombies were just embarrassed.
Wow, there's always some funny stuff in the game, but what about the toughest situations you've ever faced?
Perhaps the most difficult moment for me was when the zombies appeared, accompanied by several zombie dancers. It was a real symphony of chaos.
And I remember one day, in the last wave, a giant zombie appeared, and my plant simultaneously pointed fire at it. He didn't seem to expect such a warm welcome.
Next time, we hope for more challenging levels to demonstrate our signature tactics.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. Good luck.